Hi guys and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be analyzing 4 stocks, 3 American ones and 1 European, so Tesla, Intel, Facebook and Beiersdorf. We will see where they might move over the next weeks and months, and we'll be evaluating our forecasts made early in January and February 2021. Please subscribe to our channel if you want us to keep releasing technical analysis for free, while if you want to receive our trading signals generated by our robot and our newsletter, then you might want to join our growing community on Patreon. You will find the link in the description field. Let's start with Tesla. Here, as you can see, we have a weekly chart. In the upper section we have the naked price, while beneath we have 2 proprietary indicators. Early in February, at the time when Tesla was worth $867, I've been suggesting my patrons to start selling short Tesla with the very first target at the threshold between 500 and 400 US dollar. Actually, what is happening right now is that we are going to hit that area quite soon, quite fast. So why I've been predicting a strong retrace for Tesla? If you had the chance to watch my previous video, you should already know the reasons. First of all, in terms of technical analysis, we see here a huge increase in terms of amplitude. If we compare this candle with the previous ones, we see that the distance between the high and the low is much higher when compared with the previous candles. When that happens at the end of an uptrend, we should be expecting a stronger retrace. So the area, the very first area from where I do believe Tesla is going to rebound will be between this area of 500 US dollar and 400 US dollar. Now let's not be fooled out by the rebound that we are going to experience in the next weeks after having hit this area. The reason is because we are now, I do believe we are now in the descending phase of the Gauss curve. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that Tesla has hit the all-time high for the next 2 years. Now, if we analyze the 2 property indicators, we see that for the very first time the green curve is almost close to cross below the red one. Still, it didn't happen. But when we analyze the second longer-term trend indicator, we see that the green curve is now at 0. Okay, so in other words, the system, which was long since November 2020, is now closing the position. As you can see here, my robot went up, went long at 72 US dollar, and it's not, right now it's closing around 700 US dollar. So it's an incredible result for our robot. Now, I've been suggesting my patrons, again, when the Tesla was worth 867 US dollar, to start buying put option for Tesla, which means we speculate on the possible and on the forecast the descending phase for Tesla. Tesla will be experiencing a huge movement downwards. Again, my predictions are 400, 500 US dollar more or less, that the threshold from where we are going to experience Tesla rebounding strongly, but then we are again moving down. So second target, this area, 200 US dollar, third one at 100 US dollar. As I've been stating several times in terms of the fundamental analysis, Tesla is inside a gigantic bubble, and what is happening right now is that Tesla has started to pop up. So again, it was another great call for my patrons. I do believe we are just at the beginning of the strong descending phase for Tesla. Now let's move on and let's analyze. But before moving on, I would like to just a second to switch to the daily chart. And as you can see here, over the daily chart, we see that the 2 indicators are negative. So we have 2 negative indicators over the daily chart and 1 negative indicator for the weekly chart, with the second one which is actually almost to close the long position. As you can see here, we have the green curve below the red one, and same here with the green curve below the blue one. Okay, and so both of them are negative. We are actually approaching the very first supporting area at 500 US dollar. Now let's see what we can retrieve for Intel Corporation. You will see that for Intel Corporation we have a different scenario. Let me say that I strongly believe that the European markets are going to overperform with zero doubt the American one. Especially the high-tech market. So in other words, the Nasdaq is going to tumbling down in a very strong, I would say almost dramatic way over the next months. The reason is because Nasdaq is inside a gigantic bubble never seen in the history before. While if we think about the European market, we can say that with the exception of the German market, we have experienced just actually a ranging movement for several indexes, like for example the Italian one, with a slight movement up for the CAC 40, so for the French one, and a good actually all-time high for the German one. So in other words, what is going to happen over the next weeks and months is that the Italian market will be outperforming all the others, and now we will explain why. Why we will see the German one a little bit weaker than the Italian and the French, and definitely the American market will be the one which will be perform the worst. Actually, we are going to see a strong fallout for the American market, especially for the Nasdaq one. So why I do believe the Italian market will be overperforming the other market in Europe, and when compared with the American, is because the Italian market is composed mostly from bank. Okay, 10 out of 40 companies in the Italian market are banks, and do believe banks worldwide, especially for the European market, will be performing better than the tech companies. And the reason is because for 10 years the banks have been going down steadily. Okay, right now when we analyze the monthly cycle, we realize that it seems that the bank have hit a multi-year point of low. In other words, we are going up over the next years for the bank. So if you want to speculate, if you want to believe in some stock, definitely you should liquidate your position from the Nasdaq market, and you should move into oil companies, airplane companies, and banks. Now, what is happening is that actually the big hands are what they are doing is they are liquidating their position in the Nasdaq, and they are moving, especially in the European market, and moreover into the bank sector. So Intel, what we see here with the two property indicators, we see that they are still long. As you can see here, the property indicators went long around 48 US dollar. Right now we are still up. Now if we switch to the weekly chart, let's see where we are in terms of the weekly chart. You see we just have at the break above for the green curve above the red one, and as well for the green curve above the blue one. So in other words, if we have to speculate, we can open a long for Intel, and we can definitely sell short Tesla. My suggestion is not to open a long right now for Intel, but what we are understanding from this chart and from my two property indicators is that Intel definitely has a relative strength much higher than Tesla. In other words, if we will be experiencing Intel going down over the next weeks, what is going to happen is that the fallout for Intel will not be so hard like what we are going to see for Tesla. Okay, so Intel has a two clear thresholds around. Right now is moving in a range between 64 and 44 US dollars. So we buy only at the break of the all-time high, which was at 68 US dollar. Actually, for Intel, we want to use breakout strategies only at the break of the all-time high, and the rest we buy here at 44 US dollar, where we see this horizontal support. Now let's move on and let's analyze Facebook. Facebook, as you can see here, is now inside the distribution zone. We are definitely going to hit this area around 216, 218 US dollar. So we enter short at the break of this point of low. So below 255 US dollar, we are definitely selling short Facebook for a very first target here at 218 US dollar, which is confirmed by the analysis from the two property indicators, the weekly chart. So the analysis, the forecast is for the next several weeks, so for the next months. As you can see here, the green curve is below the red one, and here as well we see that right now the indicator has closed the long position. Even in this case, even for Facebook, another great trade, it opened here at 210 and actually closed here and 200 here at at 165 US dollars. So the trading signals given by these two property indicators are amazing. Now let's move on and let's analyze Beiersdorf. Beiersdorf have been giving a clear sell short to my my Patreons. I've been at 87 euro. I've been suggesting my Patreons to sell short Beiersdorf with very first target at 80 euro with extension at 75 euro. What we see here is that once we analyze two kind of cycles indicators, both of them are quite negative, but I do believe, let's switch to the weekly chart in order to have a better idea where we are. I do believe we are definitely, right now is worth 83 euro.62, so we are already in again. We are definitely going to hit this area at 80 US dollar with, again, some tension at 75 euro. Now guys, if you want to receive our trading signals generated by our robot, you might want to join our growing community on Patreon. The two indicators that you have seen are just one part of my multi-time frame and multi-indicator system, which has generated incredible results so far. Thank you guys.